What's up guys, Jackson and Tyler here with Toasty DIY, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a camera swap.
I shoot film, Jackson likes Instax, which is instant film, and he has a Fujifilm Instax camera. I have multiple film cameras, but this specifically is the Nikon FM2. It's an awesome beginner camera. It's really easy to use, it's fully manual, and Jackson's gonna have a fun time using it for the first time.
And I think this is gonna be an easier time for you, but the instant gratification versus me having to wait a couple of weeks to actually see how my pictures turn out, and if I even took pictures that actually work.
So that's kind of the difference between these two cameras. This also has a digital component to it, so you can put an SD card in here, you can upload your files to your computer, you can use your phone with this.
Yes, you can literally use your phone, and you can even transfer photos from your phone to print. So yeah, it's kind of a camera with endless possibilities.
So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. I think I'll be able to use it pretty well with the situations that I put myself in when it comes to doing photos. I do shoot a lot of my photos from far distances to get a lot into the photo, but we'll see how this holds up in that situation. With film, it holds up really nicely. Film retains a lot of information, so also when you go to edit it, if you see that your picture didn't come out exactly how you want it, you can pull more information out of the photo. Not sure how well that's gonna work with this. We'll see how it goes. I am excited for the instant print part. I do think that for the use case, this is a very awesome camera for an instant print, and I'm excited to see what I can do along with my other cameras.
And I'm excited to throw it back old school and hopefully get some decent pictures, and we'll get some video for both of us along the way and see how it goes.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna attempt to go ahead and finish out this current roll of Cinestill 400, and I think I'm just gonna use my garage as the platform. So I got 3 classic Datsuns in here that are they're very photogenic. They love their photos being taken. So yeah, we're gonna test it out inside. We're gonna have it set to 400. We got some pretty good lighting in here too, so getting some good shots of this should not be super hard. So at this point, I'm shooting with the Nikon FM2 35mm using some Cinestill 400D, and I would say that honestly a lot more of my shots turned out pretty good than I thought. You know, Tyler kind of explained to me that Cinestill is kind of a cheat code. Normally, you know, if you don't have the lighting right, your photos are not going to turn out good, but these are unedited straight from the film lab, and as you can see, most of them turned out pretty good. I tried to include even the ones that didn't look amazing, but for the most part, I think I only maybe had like 3 or 4 from both rolls of Cinestill that I didn't really like, but it just does such a great job at capturing the cars in good detail. Even though these cameras, you know, are 30 plus years old, we're still getting such good results. And the fact that you're getting really cool effects like you know, the lighting and the shadows, just really darks and stuff like that, but also pretty vibrant colors, is just a really cool feature of film, you know, and that's the reason why a lot of modern cameras, you know, have all these film effects. I mean, that's where it gets the name, is film effect, except back in the day, it was simply just whatever film you were using. It was almost an imperfection, if you will, but as I've told Tyler, that's one of my favorite parts so far about the film photography aspect, is not being able to just add filters or effects. They're kind of naturally given by the camera and the film that you're using, rather than, you know, doing them in post or something like that. I love just being able to have something come out with imperfections and thinking it looks really cool. All right, so we just finished shooting the 400, so now I actually have a roll of 800, which I'm going to be taking to me on a family camping trip in Michigan, so that should be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and go. So now I'm shooting with some 800T, once again, on the Nikon, same camera. And as you can see, some of my shots outside I had a little more trouble with because, well, the light meter is a little less predictable, you know, depending on if you're underneath a tree versus in the sun. This is a higher ISO. So like this inside shot, for example, I kind of just absolutely tossed the bag on, but then some of these other shots, like this barn one was super cool. I definitely didn't have the focus right on quite a few of these, like this one specifically, but the ones that were in focus looked really cool. And once again, with the tungsten wash, we got some really cool effects with the sun. Ones like this are just amazing, where we have stuff that's just super in focus with a lot of bokeh. I tried doing some like depth of field shots as well, so I was definitely being as experimental as possible with this film, but I have a more specific type of photography than Tyler. I really like doing really close-up shots where detail is kind of the key component rather than like landscape or you know, buildings. I really love this shot too, where the plant's honestly kind of out of focus, but it looks amazing. I did get one faraway shot just to try it out. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, I really liked both of these film stocks. I appreciate Tyler giving me, as he calls them, the cheat code, you know, so I wasn't having to not only maybe take bad shots, but not even have the greatest film to work with. I was able to, you know, use film that kind of helps me. And even some of the more boring shots, like this mineral oil PC, I think still look pretty cool. This one with the window looks pretty freaking cool. So let's go ahead and go to Tyler's portion.
All right, we took a couple photos on the M6, so let's take a couple on the Instax next. So the one thing I haven't done yet with this camera is print off any of the photos that I feel like are worthy of printing. Usually when I'm out in the field shooting, especially since I was shooting either 2 or 3 cameras plus trying to get footage of what I was doing at the same time, so 4 cameras in all at some points, I did not take the time out to print any of the photos while I was out, but it's kind of the beauty of this thing. So now we can sit back and go through all the photos that I took, and I can individually print which ones I feel are the best. So I know which, since I've got my scans back, I know which scans I like, and I definitely took the same photo that I took on my other cameras with this one. So when I thought I had a photo that I liked, when I had a scene that I liked, I would take a photo on all the different cameras that I was shooting at that moment. So we're gonna go through these and print off a couple right now and see how they came out.
Now this part was pretty fun for Tyler, I think. Using the Instax Mini Evo, this camera is just really cool because it honestly takes some pretty good digital photos. It's definitely not like a new DSLR level. It kind of reminds me of like an old smartphone in terms of the digital footprint, but in terms of the print quality on those little Instax Minis, they look really freaking good. So it's really cool. You know, it's good for phone usage and stuff like that. You can see though, he got some pretty cool shots. I mean, he kind of shot like he normally would with film, where he does a lot of landscape, a lot of building photography. They definitely turned out super nice. He used some of the filters too, which that's another cool part about this camera, is you can just change filters on the fly. You don't have to worry about changing film or anything. So I definitely think that he had a pretty good experience with it, and I think that he definitely did a good job. Now Tyler decided to add a little spice in, and I just used the film camera. Now he decided to actually test his other cameras kind of in unison. So this is the Leica M6 35mm, a pretty expensive but famous camera. I mean, coming in over $3,000, and you can see he got some really nice shots to match quality of the Instax. Obviously the really expensive, very nice film camera came out with some much better shots, but it's pretty crazy to see that it's not like they're insanely better by any means unless you have a really trained eye. But yeah, some really awesome vibrant colors. These shots here were really cool because these were shot in Ektachrome, but they weren't processed properly, so they were kind of really oddly colored, but I thought they looked really freaking sick. This one was properly done.
So we fired off all the shots on the M6, which actually it ended up killing the roll of Cinestill. So we got the Pentax, I got the Fujifilm Instax in my pocket, and I'm just gonna do kind of the same shots again.
So now Tyler is using a Pentax 67 medium format camera, so this is going to be even higher quality film, and this is once again just to compare, you know, versus the Instax. Very, very satisfying large camera to use, very hefty, but it sounds amazing when you take the shot. And just look at how beautiful some of these images came out, especially with the amazing bokeh, really good for landscape and just capturing a ton of detail inside of a massive image. So let's go ahead and wrap this up and talk about our thoughts on the whole process. All right, guys, well, it's been quite a while now. We were supposed to trade these cameras for like the weekend, but that became a whole month pretty much. So yeah. I had a lot of fun, and I was really surprised at a lot of the shots that I got back. Too, when we got Jackson scans back, I was pretty excited for them because they came back really solid. And I had a lot of fun with the Fuji, man, because I ended up just using it exactly how I would normally when I go out and shoot my videos. All it was another camera added to what I was doing. So obviously that made it a little bit more complicated, but all in all, man, it was very enjoyable. I actually got some good images out of there too that I was shocked
to get.
Yeah.
I know with you, you weren't expecting to get the images that you did out of here, but tell me, was your experience with it, does it make you want to do it again? Would you shoot film in the future?
Yeah, no, I definitely would. I still, at the end of the day, I'm never gonna love the waiting part. You know, that's never gonna be fun. I'm used to, my whole life I've done digital. So with digital, you know, you can literally instantly take those off. You can literally, a lot of new cameras, you can upload them straight to social media from the camera even. So this is like the next best thing to have kind of like the old vintage vibe, but it's still instant. So then this is just like where it all started basically with, you know, film photography. And I would say one of the most satisfying parts is the aesthetic of shooting film. It's like just how heavy it is, the sounds, knowing that everything's manual, and that when people look at you, they're not like, you know, he's just using some rinky-dink camera. Like he's shooting film, you know. So that's probably one of the best parts. And then getting the images back, like you said, and actually seeing that they turned out good is definitely very worth it. With this, you just know. You know what I mean? You take it and you're like, yeah, that was a good shot. But with this, you take it and you're like, man, I feel like that was gonna be great, but it could also be really bad.
Yeah, 100%. I know sometimes I shoot and I don't know what I'm gonna get back. You know, I think I did things right, and this video is actually a perfect example of that, because I wasn't happy with any of the photos I took on my film camera, my Leica M6 that I shot in part with the Fuji. Wrong film stock choices at the wrong time of day. It was cloudy almost every time I went out to go shoot, because we had those storms come in.
Right.
So I mean, it was stormy, it was cloudy, it was ugly outside, and the film stocks I chose to shoot on those days, I should have just went black and white. But so really, the Fujifilm, I feel like I got the better photos on those just because it worked better for the scenario, and the film stocks I chose were terrible for the situation. So I really wasn't happy with any of it. And let me put a disclaimer, the Ektachrome photos that I shot, I ended up having them processed C41 when they're supposed to be processed in another chemical. And because of that, it caused major color shifts. So that whole roll of Ektachrome that I shot, which was the last roll I shot, it was just all bad for me. So yeah, the Fujifilm's dope. Would I take it over shooting film? Definitely not. I love shooting film. I love the feeling of it. I have a workflow for it now at this point where I get consistent stuff all the time for the most part. You know, so I really love that part of it. I love loading the film. I love everything about it. So I'll keep shooting film. If I had one of those, would I shoot it? Yes. Would I go out my way for it? Probably not, you know, because I'm so invested in this at this point.
I'm probably in the same boat. Like, I literally have another instant print camera on the way. But I did tell Tyler that after using that camera, I was looking at like FM2s or FM2 Plus or the FM2 T, like the titanium. So yeah, I'm definitely, I think I want to get at least one film camera, just one 35mm. I don't think I'm going to get as invested in you and have each format. I think this is my each format camera. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a really fun time. It was a fun switch up, especially for like a full month. But I don't know about you, I'm excited to have my one of my main cameras back in my collection. I'm sure you're excited to have yours back.
100%.
It is broken now, but other than that, dude, I mean, I was playing. But no, this was really fun, and I'm sure you'll see some more videos like this in the future.
100%.
So guys, we hope you enjoyed today's video. Tyler's gonna give a little shout out to some of his social medias where you can actually find some really awesome shots on this type of camera and even much more nicer versions.
Yeah, so if you want to check out my Instagram or my YouTube, both are at TV The Greek. Same handle everywhere. You can see a lot better film photos on there because, like I said, these weren't my best. But yeah, I make videos, I shoot film photos, and I upload almost on a daily basis, so go check them out.
Oh, and on top of that, at PC Bros, at Become in Person, we actually have some instant film shots and some really awesome full frame shots. So if you want to, support us and support PC Bros as well, check out some computers and stuff while you're here, come to PC Bros. You can just Google us and you'll find it.
It was a lot of fun.